students, welcome to English Literature Pathshala. And if you have not subscribed the channel so far, please subscribe the channel so that you will receive the notifications for the upcoming videos. Now, I have uploaded 2 video lectures on Chaucer. This is the third video lecture. Now, in the previous lecture, I discussed Chaucer's prologue, plan of prologue. I told you that the plan was that at Tabard Inn, which is there at Southwark, London, 9 and 20 pilgrims assembled, and they are planning to go to Canterbury, which is the shrine of Thomas Becket. Chaucer also by chance reached there and found the variety of people there at inn. Now, Chaucer had been planning for a very long time to write a work where he could depict the 14th century society, and he got an opportunity because he found the people from the old strata of the society. Now, the innkeeper, the host, that is Harry Belly, he made a proposal that in order to make the journey pleasant and not to make it boring and tiresome, each pilgrim will narrate 2 tales on the onward journey and 2 tales while coming back. That is the agreement was, the plan was that each pilgrim will narrate 4 tales, and if there are 30 pilgrims, so total number of tales to be narrated will be 120. It was a very large plan, but Chaucer could not complete that arduous task. He could complete only 24 tales. Most of the tales are written in words, only 2 tales are there in prose. So the proposal of the host, the 2 tales on the onward journey, 2 tales while coming back, and the person who would narrate the best tale will be given the sumptuous meal after when they come back, and this will be contributory. It was Knight actually who started narrating the tale first. It was Palamon Archite, which was the tale narrated by Knight. Now, Chaucer says that Canterbury Tales, in prologue to the Canterbury Tales, we find the prologue means introduction. So we have introduction to the narrators of the tales. He says, before I come to the tales, let me tell you about the tellers of the tales. How do they look like? So that because Chaucer is a great delineator of the characters. So in the depiction of the characters, we find Chaucer's art of characterization at its best. So in this video lecture, I will describe about the characters described by Chaucer in prologue. So the first character described by Chaucer is the character of Knight. Now, you see, you find out that in Chaucer's prologue, generally, the characters are satirized, they are criticized. Chaucer uses the literary weapons of humor, irony, and satire. But this character, Knight, has been depicted by Chaucer in such a way that there is no humor or satire there. He says that there is a knight, and then his son, Squire, and then their servant, Yeoman. Knight, according to Chaucer, is a noble person, and he loves chivalry. In addition to that, he is a worthy man. If you read the text, you will find out that Chaucer uses the word worthy 5 times in order to emphasize on the point that Knight is a very worthy person. He is also very modest, as meek as a mate. He never speaks ill of anyone. And as I have just told you, the narrator is very sincere in the depiction of the character of Knight. The Knight is very noble, very chivalrous, and always determined to fight for the sake of God. And Chaucer has done genuine praise for the character of Knight. Then comes Squire, his son. You see, if Knight is the representative of the old chivalry, Squire is the representative of the modern chivalry. He is a lively, lusty young man in training. Now the Squire says the narrator wants to take the favor of the ladies. and he is performing all the work in order to win the favor of the ladies. Even he is participating in different kind of battles just to please ladies. He is constantly singing and playing on the flute. He is so passionately in love that he sleeps no more than a nightingale. He is always very courteous, very humble, very modest. Now, if you look at the dress of knight is very, it's not clean actually. Even the horse looks better than a knight because they have just completed their journey. But the dress, the clothing of Squire is very much ornamental, very much decorative, because he wants to, please the women. Now, then comes the only servant actually which knight has is yeoman. Now, he wears green hood and coat. He takes care of his bow and sharp, keen peacock arrows. The narrator guesses that according to the yeoman's dress, he is a forester. Now we coming to the next important character, the first woman character, first church character depicted by Chaucer in Prologue. That is the fourth character, that is the character of Prioress. Now you see, you find out in Chaucer's Prologue that the depiction of the character is very, he has done it in a very detailed manner, very minute observation Chaucer has done. We are coming to the character of Prioress, and this Prioress actually through the character of Prioress, Chaucer is also trying to depict the 14th century society, especially the condition of the church. Now, just imagine the picture of Prioress, a nun leading a pious life, reading the religious books, giving up all the worldly pleasures and all that. Now look at the character of Prioress depicted by Chaucer. The name of Prioress is Madame Eglantine. It's a very, the name which looks more, worldly. Now, she sings the liturgy through her, nose. The nasal touch she gives to the hymns. Now, she is very fluent in French also, and she is trying to follow the French accent, because French was the language of the sophisticated class. Now, when she eats food, actually, she eats it, very delicately. Takes the morsel, dips it in the bowl, then holds it for some time, keeps in the mouth, and wipes, her lips. So you see, whatever activity she is doing, this looks like, the heroines of the medieval times. She always, imitate the manners of the court. She is also very charitable and compassionate, as Chaucer says. But this is her compassion, her charity is described in a very ironical manner. The narrator says that wherever she sees a mouse caught or leading a trap, she weeps. Again, we have the irony and humor here. She keeps also small dogs, feeding them roast meat, milk, and fine white bread, and she weeps actually if any of them are trampled or if men beat them with a stick. Her cloak is very elegant. She wears a coral rosary with green beads, on which there is the sign of A. Okay, A is gilded, and the A means amor vincit omnia, that is love conquers all. Now the portrait of this lady, the Prioress, has been done very realistically, and it is so beautiful that critics say that Chaucer must have had the picture of some medieval heroine before him, in order to depict the character of Prior. It has been so realistically depicted. Prioress, narrator says that there is also the second nun who is following Prioress. Next character is the character of monk, another church character, and let me tell you that Chaucer criticizes the church character, the ecclesiastical characters, because during Chaucer's time there was a lot of corruption in church, and it is only because of that later on you find out that the Reformation movement takes place. There is a handsome monk He conducts business outside the monastery. When he rides, through the country, men can hear his bridle jingling as loud as the chapel bell. Beautiful, ironical, thing Chaucer says. He's a good horseman, rides along with a pack of swift greyhounds. Even Prioress, keeps the pets, and he is keeping these greyhounds. His head is bald, and his face glows as if he had been rubbed, with oil. Very humorous description. He is a plump, lively man whose eyes gleam like fire under a cauldron. The narrator is satirizing, I have just told you, the contemporary non-devout life of monks through his portrait of the jolly, huntsman. The plump, robust monk resembles a prosperous, lord rather than a scholar who spends his days poring over his books. Instead of dressing in modest, pious attire, the monk wears the fine, furs and shows off his, material wealth. And then comes the character of Friar, another, ecclesiastical character, church character. Irony is there, humor is there, satire is there. Now, we find out in the description of the character of Friar, when Chaucer delineates the character of Friar, he says that, he has arranged and paid for many marriages of young ladies. We feel sympathetic and also happy towards the character of Friar, because how a churchman is doing a very pious duty, the arranging the marriage and paying for the marriage of young ladies. But later on we'll come to know that he had some illicit relations with those women, and later on he arranged for these marriages. Now the Friar is very much known to the rich landowners and wealthy women in town, because he has the power of confession and could absolve any sin sweetly and pleasantly. In Christianity, you find this confession, and he takes the money and he says that I know that you feel repentant, but give me some money, I will pardon you. I know that you want to weep, you want to cry, but tears are not coming in your eyes. Give me some money, everything will be settled. The Friar is also an excellent singer and knew every innkeeper and barmaid in every town. He does not like, he disdains, hates lepers and beggars as unworthy. So, a different kind of character Friar has. He deals with, rich men or with those people with whom he can make profit. His name, Chaucer says, is Hubert, H-U-B-E-R-T, Hubert. Now, so the depiction of Friar again is very ironical. It is satirized. Now then we have the clerk, the character of clerk. Clerk is an Oxford University student, very thin and dressed in threadbare clothes. The narrator says that he would rather have books than fine clothes or money. Though he is a philosopher, he has not found the philosopher's stone. That is a very humorous description which he gives. Whatever money he had, actually he spends on books. Because he takes his studies very seriously, and whenever he speaks, his speech is full of moral virtue. The narrator is satirizing the stereotype of the poor scholar who spends all his money on books rather than on practicalities like food and clothing. Then comes the doctor of physician. Now this physician bases his medical practice on principle of astronomy, and diagnoses the cause of every malady based on the four humors. You know about the four humors: hot, cold, moist and dry. Now he can quote all the ancient medical texts but knows very little about the Bible. And then narrator says that he has saved a lot of money, whatever he earned during the Black Death, because he says that gold is the best medicine, and that is why this doctor loves gold very much. Then we have the character of wife of Bath, the second or the third woman of the prologue, slightly deaf. One description is there that this wife of Bath actually arranged 4 marriages. She left 4 husbands, and when the 5th husband came to know about her nature, he slapped her, so she became deaf. And as I told you that each and every pilgrim is going to visit the shrine of Thomas Becket because they have some ailment and they think that if they go there, it will be cured. So wife of Bath is also going there because she has the problem of this deafness. A different kind of personality. She is always first in the line of Paris offerings, and if anyone brings alms before her, she becomes extremely angry. Wife of Bath, Chaucer says, has married 5 times. Not to mention the other company, that is, she also manages many other companies, and she has gone to Jerusalem, Rome, and other foreign pilgrimages. She's gap-toothed. Now look at the minute observation. She's gap-toothed, sits on the horse very easily, and wife of Bath is very expert in the game of love. She gives pieces of advice to the people as far as the game of love is concerned. Now then comes the character of Parson. A parson from a very small town. He is a part of that company. Is poor in wealth but rich in holy thoughts and deeds. And you see, this character has not been satirized by Chaucer. Most of the religious characters are satirized by Chaucer, but Parson has been idealistically depicted. Now we have Parson's brother also, the plowman. He is a faithful worker who worships God and loves his neighbor as he loves himself. He threshes hay for Christ's sake and always pays his tithes fully. We have actually the description of the plowman also in Langdon Spears, the plowman, which was written before Canterbury Tales. We have other characters also in the company, like merchant, man of laws, shipman, 5 guildsmen, cook, reeve, miller, summoner, partner, municipal, and the narrator himself. So we have a large canvas of the characters, and the basic purpose of Chaucer is to take the characters from all strata of the society in order to depict the 14th century society realistically. We have variety of characters. That is why Dryden says, here is God's plenty. We have the characters from the aristocratic class, from the church class, from the merchant class, from the peasants class. So that way Chaucer has a very faithfully depicted the 14th century society. So this much all about this lecture. Thank you very much.